Welcome everybody. Welcome to another session here for the New York. I'm in buys on GPJPY. 30-minute candles are making higher highs and higher lows, and we are in buys for price to continue on towards the resistance we had around 138, 100. So if you look on the 1 hour is bullish. We look on the 4 hour is continuing bullish as well. We have a wick to fill around 138.350. Looking at the 1 hour, obviously bullish. 30-minute did a liquidity wick. Now it's time to go bullish. So I think we have a lot of room for price to continue on towards 138, 330, 350. Around that area. 30-minute candles are making higher highs and higher lows. The 5:30 a.m. candle, actually. The 5:30 a.m. candle, it made a big liquidity wick coming down. So that's giving us more confirmations that price should indeed continue moving bullish. So this is around 8. Okay, let's take a look at Okay, so we got all systems running up over here. Just making sure. All right. Okay, so I'm just going based off the momentum here. The momentum is bullish, so that's what I see, and I think we're going to continue moving up to fill this range here. Now, since I'm in this trade, I'm managing my risk at the same time too, right? Because I'm looking at the 15-minute candles, and if I see the 15-minute candle close bearish in 9 minutes, I'm going to close off 50% of my position here, right? Because I want this candle to continue bullish, and then I want the next 15-minute candle to go bullish as well. So that's what I'm looking for over here. Is it better to wait for a break above 138.350? Yeah, you can do that. You can wait for price to break above 138.350 as well, but just by looking at the 30-minute candles, we're making higher highs and higher lows, right? So for this current candle to continue moving bullish, we're expecting this candle to respect the low of the previous candle, make a higher low, and ultimately break this high and make a higher high to continue up to fill this range. That's basically what I'm looking at here. But if price comes down and hits our stop loss, then that's also pretty good because we know exactly what we're risking, right? So I think that's going to be pretty good as well. Ooh, looks like this is going to be the first loss here for the week. He literally has an entry and stop loss. Let's take a look at gold. We got gold pulling up over here. And while that trade is running on GPJPY, let's take a look at Forex Factory over here for a little bit. Oh, I guess we got stopped out over here. Um, yeah, got stopped out. I was expecting it to continue moving bullish, but I think it didn't. It broke the low and it continued moving down, so that's pretty good. Wait, one GJ. Perfect. There's some news in 1 hour, maybe price will break resistance after the news. Yeah, basically, like our trend is bullish here, right? So let's just do some clean analysis here. So before price went up, it made some sort of support at this point, right? After the support was made, it continued up, made a high at 138.263. Now, since this candle has broken the low of the previous candle, this is the high being made, right? So that was a first chance given to the buying bias here. And now I'm just going to wait to see if I can give like a second chance to my buying bias at this point. And yeah, and then we're just going to wait. Oh, people are saying they don't hear anything. I think people can hear everything. Oh no, let me just fix this. Oh yeah, I mean if you can't hear, then there's something wrong with the speakers. Because the mic is perfectly fine. Okay, we got the euro interest rates. We got press conference. So we have a big day for the euro here. Big day for euro. We got USD PPI. This is probably going to move US dollar. We got unemployment claims. They're looking at kind of like okay numbers. You know, it's not that big of a difference here. But euro is going to move a lot. So that's something that you should be keeping your eye out for. Yeah, euro is coming down. Euro is sort of like retracing, but it's also very, very bullish. So we'll have to wait and see how euro is going to behave here with the news. All right, back to GPJPY. We'll be looking to give this buying bias a second chance here for GPJPY, but I think we are coming up over here to 138.350. Right? It's just the fact that we got caught right over here, so we're just going to wait to see how, you know, candles close on the small time frames and see if we can give it a second chance to continue bullish. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is GPJPY 4 hour, currently pulling back from bearish impulsive. We can continue bullish if we break 138.350. That is absolutely true. I also think that what might happen is that since we've made a high here with this candle breaking the low, we might come down, create like a support, and then I might get a second chance in taking a buy for price to continue moving up. So that's something I'm only waiting for. All right, Euro JPY, looking at the daily time frame. Daily is coming up, right? We have a clean range till this area, 125.950, because that's the resistance here before price kept falling down, right? Right now we're at 125.560. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. That's the 4 hour strong resistance. And if you look on the 4 hour candles, 4 hour candles created a resistance and then it started making higher highs and higher lows, right? So at the same time, it's approaching a minor resistance at this point. So when we go down to the smaller time frames on the 1 hour, we see that we created a resistance at this point. Price came up and now it's sort of like coming down to make like a support. If price makes a support, there's an opportunity for price to continue moving up. So we're going to see how news plays out with this. We got a question here. You're not worried about buying directly into resistance? Isn't that way more risky? Actually, I'm not worried about buying into resistance because, you know, trend is bullish. Price is making a high. It's coming down. If it makes a support, then I'm going to be giving my trade a second chance to continue moving bullish. And then we can expect the volume in pre-New York and New York to hold price to continue moving up. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. Ooh, Carlos Velasquez sent a chart from the gulag. Can't open it. Cannot open that chart. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. What could I have done better? I got stopped out. Let's take a look here. This is 30-minute rejection in this zone to our support. Yeah, it's good. Like, I mean, you know, the candle closed, candle closed bullish. You expected the next one to go up. You know, you went in profits. Now you can see, now you want to see that how you could have, you know, managed your risk at that point. You know, so I had my stop below the candle here. Price came down and stopped me out. I lost exactly what I wanted to lose. And right now, if price comes down, creates a support, then I'm going to be giving my buying bias a second chance. And then we'll see if he can ride the move, continue going up. Ooh, so bright. Wrong chart, man. That's another wrong chart. Can you explain your first trade? Okay, so the first trade was basically based on the fact that we had this candle moving up. We had this candle creating like a big liquidity wick, closing bullish. We had next candle closing bullish, making a higher low and a higher high. So I took a buy. I took a buy after that candle closed and retraced. I took a buy somewhere over here, kept my stop loss below the previous candle, expecting it to continue moving bullish up to, you know, this area with pre-New York volume. But, you know, I guess the probability wasn't in my favor. And what price did was price came down, broke the low, and stopped me out. So once I got stopped out, I'm like, okay, you know what? That's okay. I lost what I wanted to lose. I mean, it's okay. Losses do happen. And now what I'm doing is I'm waiting. I have the same bias. I'm not changing my bias. You know, I'm not going to change my bias and say, oh, you know what? It wasn't a buy. It could be a sell. So I'm going to stay calm right now. I'm going to keep my bias the same. I'm going to wait for price to maybe come down. Maybe if it creates a support at this point, then I'm going to be looking to take a buy to run price all the way up. But if for some reason price comes down and it breaks this area, then I'm going to be looking for a minor resistance to be formed and the continuation down towards, you know, this support at 137, 850, 840. So these are two things I'm looking at the same time. You know, because you got to be fluid, man. You got to look at the buys and you have to look at the sells. So we're just going to wait. This chart here. Ooh, can't open it. Can't open it, Carlos. You're sending me the wrong chart. Trust me, I know how to open charts. All right, let's look at the Andrews chart here. This is USD reduced risk, sells below the zone due to consolidation, buys above the zone. You have clean candles here to the left-hand side. That's pretty good. You're looking at this area. I think you're looking for this high to break and price to continue moving bullish. Okay, GJ, short after a break and close candle below 137.800. That makes sense. I think at the same time, you should also be looking at buys as well. You know, if your bias is sells, that's perfectly fine. At the same time, you should also be looking for buys too. Because most times what happens is that if our bias is, let's say, against the trend, right? If our bias is against the trend and we're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have this selling bias. What if that selling bias doesn't play out? What if price starts moving up? You know, so if you have that planned in your mind, even though you're not going to trade on it, you're going to know exactly what's going on. then you're going to be looking at those subtle hints that the market is going to give you that, okay, you know what, we're actually not going to go up, or like, we're not going to go down, we're actually going to go up. So, keeping those things in mind, it will make you much more fluid. Okay, let's take a look at this chart here. This is GJ. Wait for market to break above 130 at 300 and retest for a buy trade. That's another great idea. This is a more conservative idea now. Now, this person is Junaid Joni, Junaid Joni 999, is looking for price to break above this area here to take buys. What I'm doing is I'm waiting for price to create a support to take buys down over here. So we can have the same ideas, but different. Well, we can have the same buys, but different modes of entry, right? What's this? 4-hour support. Price creating support over here. We got resistance here. I'm looking for wicks to clear 130 at 380. Clean traffic for price to come up. It's pretty good. Look for buys above the 4-hour resistance here. Someone's looking for buys right above this area, which is also pretty good. So yeah, let's see what happens here. How price sets up. Okay, what's this? Wouldn't it make sense to note the percentage lost or won instead of pips? With only pips shown, the stop size is not taken into account. Well, the stop size was 7 pips. It was around 7 pips. It wasn't big. Plus, that's a lot of work for me to do that. So I'm just going to keep it at -7 pips. Since the daily closed below that major support and it's making a resistance, do you think overall price action could be heading down? I was actually looking at that earlier on, right? So if we look at the daily candle here, we look at the previous daily candle. The previous daily candle closed below this area right over here, right? This daily candle is now trying to do a retest to maybe reject this area. So if we're looking for a rejection on the higher time frame, what we got to do is we got to drop down to the smaller time frames now. So let's take a look on the 4-hour here, right? 4-hour is approaching a resistance, which seems like 4-hour candle is rejecting this area. Now we can go down to the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour also same thing, looks like we're rejecting it to come down. Therefore, it seems like there was a support formed at this point. So now we're going to go to the 30-minute time frame. Looking at the 30-minute, we have a support form right over here. Now, if on the high time frame, if we want the daily candles to reject this area and to come down, we want on the smaller time frames for price to break this support, right? If price breaks the support, then we know on the high time frames price may be coming down. And if we measure this range, this is a 28 to 30 pip range, right? So once we break the support at 138.040, we know that, okay, now price can continue moving down and we can go to the high time frame and say that, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? We're actually rejecting this area to go bearish. So that's how I'm looking at the bearish bias based on the lower time frame. Since kind of close above support, so sells and no buys. Okay, since we are on support, anti-aggressive buys when the previous 15-minute kind of, oh, pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Jaden got it. Jaden got it. GP break and close above for buys, waiting for support to be formed. I think it's the same thing as, it's the same idea as JPY at this point. So probably gonna wait to see how it forms. 4-hour on gold is actually about to close pretty bullish on the 2-hour in 2 hours here. So if we form bullish candle on gold, this could mean gold can continue moving bullish, maybe into the 1959 area here. The daily candles are also moving bullish. 4-hour candle, if this closes bullish, this means this is doing something which the previous candles couldn't do, and then we might be on our way. Looking at the 1-hour time frame right over here, we want this 1-hour candle to also close bullish. Don't you think it was a bad trade, coach, because of 30-minute resistance? Thank you. I don't think so. I think it was pretty good because, you know, my risk was managed, and yeah, I just expected the pre-New York volume to continue price moving up, but I guess it didn't, right? So now we just gotta wait. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is goat shit, question mark, with a shit emoji. That's absolutely true. You're waiting for price to break above this area, which is, it's pretty good. We can get that. And then you're waiting for price to break below the support. 137,800. I'm looking at these smaller levels over here, right? Because this is a range. This is a 26 pip range. And then below that, we have a 26 pip range again. How is the zone in the middle determined 15-minute time frame? It's determined based on a 30-minute actually. If you go to the 15-minute, that's kind of like there, but it's mostly determined on the 30-minute. Because, if you look over here, price came down, candle closed with no wick, candle closed with small body, had a little issues, started to continue down. Right over here, price came up, candle closed at this point, this candle started here, and the next candle came down to this area over here. Now, if we're looking at prices, I'm looking to see that, okay, 138,040 was an important price, which is why the 30-minute candle came down to this area and then rejected it. So now when this candle is coming down, I'm anticipating the same rejection at this area from this candle. If we don't get the rejection from this area, then there's a very high chance we're going to continue moving down. So that's why that zone is drawn over there. What's this? Price consolidating after nice push yesterday. Clean traffic. I don't know what the outcome was of that trade. So, you're looking for sells. Is that the current trade? I think it's the current trade you're in right now. Oh, from down over here. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. It was a good one. Hey, can you check this trade? If you send the chart, we're gonna check it. If you don't send the chart, then obviously we can't check it, right? Can you give me advice on how I draw support resistance on my chart? I think there are a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, and you can go through those videos and you can kind of learn a few things. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is GJ 30 minutes. Support formed above resistance for buys who target a clean traffic to the left. Possible support create here for buys. Okay, yeah, same thing I'm looking at over here. Form resistance under support for sells. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, the 15-minute candle has closed. This is the start of the new 15-minute candle. The 1-hour candle is about to close in 5 minutes here as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that 1-hour candle and see how it closes. Also keeping an eye on the 30-minute candle here as well. It's about to close in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And yeah, so we're going to be looking to see if we can get some sort of confirmations here. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator here for a little bit. Let's see if we can get some hints from the Chinese indicator. The Chinese indicator is saying that pound is strong, kind of there. CAD is really weak. That means pound CAD should be moving up. We got the yen. Yen is like kind of okay, but yen is closed at the moment. So all in all, I think GPJPY should be continue moving bullish. So I guess I'm going to wait for some more confirmations here and then execute a second, second trade at that point. Thoughts on intermittent fasting? I'm not sure, man. This is not a dieting stream. This is a trading stream. I think you're on the same, I think you're on the wrong channel. Took a buy when broke the previous high over here. Okay. Ooh, okay. Someone took a buy right at this point. Strong rejection. Didn't take TP for 1 pip. Now I closed these trade at -8 pips. I think once you went in profits and price was coming down to break the low of the previous candle, I think that was the time when you should have been closing 50% of the trade. Because you're always, whenever you're taking a loss, you're always looking to see how you can reduce your loss. So you should have been closing 50% right over here, and then once it came to your stop loss, that's when you should have been saying, okay, you know what, maybe this trade is not going to work. Would you take an impulse entry at the break of the previous 30-minute high? No. I'm going to wait for a bullish candle forming at this point, and then I'm going to be taking a buy at that area. Trading Nut took down podcast of Rag. Yeah, man, that podcast was something. Like the guy said, yeah, I was like 19, and then I was worth 8 figures. And when he says I was worth 8 figures, I was like, okay, you know what? This is it. I've heard enough of this bullshit, and I'm just gonna close it. And yeah, that was it. I mean, it was crazy. That was a good attempt by Rag to come back. Are you familiar with Heikiashi candles? I think that's how you spell it. No, I don't know about Heikiashi candles at all. Looks like gold is breaking the highs over here to continue moving bullish. Let's take a look at the pre-markets here. If we look at the pre-markets, I guess see what pre-markets are saying. Pre-markets are down. We're down by 100 points. 100 points we are down on the pre-markets. I've stopped looking at the US 30, because it was just a waste of time. Because if I'm not going to trade US 30, it doesn't make sense for me to look at it. Let's take a look at this chart here. This chart is GPJPY 30-minute chart, waiting for support to be established for movement, continue bullish and break resistance. Okay, if we break this level, then I will wait for confirmation of sells. That is absolutely correct. That is something I'm looking for here as well. So we'll see what happens. Now, back to EU rates over here. In about 45 minutes, we're going to be walking in towards EU interest rates. And this is going to be a huge, huge move for Euro JPY, Euro USD, Euro New Zealand. And we're going to have a pretty big moves here on the Euro here. Alright, this candle is about to close. 15-minute candle is also about to close. 15-minute candle is closing a bullish candle. Does this mean that we have a confirmation for price to continue going up? Absolutely not, because 15-minute is a weak confirmation time frame. So the 30-minute candle is bearish over here, so gotta wait for the 30-minute candle to close bullish. And then we're gonna see if we can take a buy position. Okay, so let's release my statement here. My statement is buys are valid as long as 138.040 holds. As long as this level holds here, we have valid buys, right? But if this level breaks, then we have valid sells coming down towards 137.830. If you look at the 2.5 time frame, there's a nice birthday candle forming. That's actually true. There's a birthday candle forming on gold as well. Yeah, so this was the situation on GJ when I entered a buy. Like candles were making higher highs, higher lows. They were closing bullish. 30-minute candle closed bullish and then executed a buy and expected price to continue moving up, but it broke the low and went down. So the same situation is happening on gold here. So just by looking at the price action, it just kind of like makes sense that gold should continue moving bullish. But I'm not going to take a trade on gold because I don't trade gold anymore. It just has too much volume now. Are you looking to sell stops and buy stops on EJ? Probably not. No. I'm just going to watch it from the sidelines and see what happens. Will EU news affect the pound, GU, GJ at all, or just add volatility? I think it will just add volatility. That's it. It's not going to affect it at all. It's just going to move it here and there, but that's about it. Like a little bit of wicks, you know. That's it. Not a whole lot. EU rate should drive GJ bullish or bearish. Well, thank you, Kivan. I think it should move it either bearish or bullish. We just don't know which way. Looks like Kivan visited the Gulag and came back. Why do you choose 138.040 as a potential support level? Because this is a support level here, right? If you look at the 30-minute candles, you see that this 30-minute candle came down to reject this area. So if we rejected it, and if price comes down, there's a very high chance we're going to reject it again and continue moving up. So that's why this is the area I have here as a potential support. Do you know Mozambique's capital? No, I don't. I think Mozambique is a capital itself. Okay, let's take a look at this chart here. This chart is GJ 5-minute chart, targeting this resistance, support being formed. Oh my God, 5-minute charts, man. This is why people lose. I mean, if you're looking at this minor support to be formed, I mean, it makes sense. You know, it kind of makes sense, but like it's more risky. You know, you want to see the same situation happening on a 30-minute chart. You know, that's going to have a lot more confirmation for price to continue moving up. But if you're looking at the 5-minute chart, man, 5-minute is going to give you really weak confirmations. And you're just going to be running around chasing your tail, trying to, like, you know, get price to go your way. But yeah, man, 5-minute is really, really weak confirmation. Always wait for the 30-minute confirmation. You know, 30-minute confirmation, sometimes 15-minute confirmation. Isn't 138.040 technically in the middle of the overall range? Well, here's what, right? Whenever we're looking at the chart, I'm going to see something very different to someone else. And you can't challenge that. What I told you is what I see. So there's nothing more explanation after that. I see a rejection over here in the 30-minute, and I'm expecting the candle to reject here as well. And if someone thinks it's in the middle of the range, then maybe you know, my analysis is wrong. But that's how you learn, right? If it's in the middle of a range and price doesn't respect it, then maybe I can go back and learn something. I can learn something to say, okay, you know what, maybe I was wrong at this point. Let me see if I can make things better. You know, that's how you learn. But you can't, one thing you can't do is you can't have analysis plotted out and then change it because someone said something. Because when you change it based on someone's reasoning, or someone said something, then you're not going to learn from it. You know, so the best way to learn is to just hold to your guns and then just go from there. Ooh, see this? Gold did continue moving up here. The 30-minute candle on gold, it made a liquidity wick and boom, continued up 25 pips. This was the same situation on GJ right over here. When this candle closed bullish, this is the same idea right here for 30-minute candle to go up. And now the candle is coming down to the same rejection area, and I'm looking to see if we will reject it or we will break it to continue down. If we break it, then the higher time frame analysis is going to kick in, and then we may continue moving further bearish. If you're up 0.5% on the week going into Thursday New York session, would you risk your typical 1 to 2% for a setup? You really like possible going negative for the week? Well, if you're up 0.5% for the week, I think now you have to make a decision, right? Now you have to decide whether you want to risk those profits to take a trade or not. I mean, it's very hard for me to comment on that. I mean, if I say, yeah, go ahead, then, I mean,
That's
you,
something I struggle with a lot, Raja,
yeah.
because it could be a setup I really like with a strong bias, but I don't want to give away my profits.
Well, sometimes you just gotta risk it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta risk it to bite the biscuit.
Hmm.
I mean, look at it this way. If it's going to be, let's say price comes down here, creates a support and there's a candle closing bullish, now you got to risk it. Now you got to see that, okay, I've seen it happen a lot. Am I going to risk my 0.5% on this trade or not? Provided if it does go bad, you're accepting that you're okay with having a losing trade, right? If you're not okay with having a losing trade, then maybe, maybe not take a trade at all. Or maybe then just reduce the risk so that you don't risk the entire 0.5%. Then that's going to be a very, very small amount. Um, Donnie, he barely checks the chart from the YouTube comment. No, I check all the charts. Ooh, looks like we are breaking down over here. Yeah, if you start
So,
breaking down,
so Roger, what I was saying earlier is that volatility is coming in from EU. If we break below 137,840, I would have comfortable taking sells versus taking sells at this level right here, because we could probably make a higher low somewhere right here to continue to go higher. But the previous 30 minutes were the bullish. It looks like we're forming lower highs right now to continue to go down. So I'm gonna wait for the news and see how it plays out.
yeah, I think so too. Now we've broken this area, so might want to be looking for like a little bit of a retest here for price to continue moving bearish.
Because I was thinking about taking an impulse entry at that when it breaks the previous wick, because we had a coming from the top, you could see a lower high, right? So, but I didn't want to risk it, man, because my bias is buys also. So let's see how it plays out.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is GJ 30 minute. If 30-minute candle closes below resistance, expect the next candle to go to 137,840. I think you meant support, not resistance. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. I mean, even if the 4-hour here starts breaking the lows, then the overall daily candle, it will continue going bearish. So this is going to be a very, very strong support right at this point, this whole area here. So on the smaller time frames, if we're coming below 138,040, I'd want to see a minor resistance forming at this point in order to take sells for price to continue moving down and then eventually break this area and continue moving further bearish. Maybe all the way down towards 137,400, because that's a clean candle looking left. And that's a pretty big range as well. This is a 40 pip range. So I think I'm going to wait now, because once we form resistance here, I think that's going to be a very, very good trade. Why wait retest if you know rarely GJ retests? Because the stop is going to be pretty big, right? You don't know how, like, I mean, it can continue down without a retest, but then the stop loss is going to be pretty big. So you have to be very careful when you're placing a stop loss at that point. Do you think the Brexit news was just a minor negative pullback in overall bullish trend in GJ? I think so. I think so. Oh wow, gold just came back down. Yeah, I think that was just a minor thing here. So we're gonna see what happens here now. price is coming down. Obviously, there was no confirmation for sells. I mean, if someone took sells, that's perfect. But for me, I didn't see any confirmations to take a sell. Oh, wow, man, this thing is breaking down. Yep, we're coming down. We're no longer going up. My, my buying analysis went out the window, man. This is just coming straight down. Just gonna wait for some confirmations now to see if you can take some sort of a position here.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
Just be careful with GJ because at this time, usually when these heavy moves happens, it tend to be a fake up. So just pay attention to the way this 15-minute candle close, or for more confirmation, the 30-minute candle, the 7:30 a.m. Because this candle maybe is just bare liquidity. Just be careful. We have clear traffic to the left, trying to retest at least 137,400, which was the resistance from yesterday. But in my opinion, GG is just doing a fake up
Oh, this
because
moved
my
down?
bias is, yeah, because my bias is bias for today. So I don't wanna try to be a hero looking for sales right now. Stop loss, like you said, is too much, and these 50-minute candles, in my opinion, is a fake up.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how this closes here.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice one. Steven had a nice sell here on gold. Oh, and GJ. Expected a fake out on the 1 hour entry on the break of the previous 1 hour low. Beautiful.
I see. Yeah. He's playing the range, which is good.
Yeah, this is a pretty big range here too.
Yeah.
30, 37, 38.
Uh-huh.
What makes you want to buy GJ?
Who? Me?
No, the last person that was talking, I don't know who that was.
Coring.
Kareem.
Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Let me draw something here.
So, quick question. The
Uh-huh.
reason why, for me right now, because I'm thinking if we wanted to go back up, this previous move coming down should have put in a new high to continue going up, right? So it didn't, right? So sales might be more valid today.
Yes. I agree with that.
So in here, if you take a look at the 15-minute candles, if we start forming some sort of candle like this, the next one should make a dip down right here, continue retest to the previous resistance. So that's the thing that you don't want to see if you want to take sales. As soon you have a 15-minute candle forming bullish, don't look for sales. Don't look for sales anymore. You can take impulse move sells below that support, and it is what it is. It may play out or maybe not, because in my opinion, it's just for liquidity grab. What is happening right now?
I personally,
go ahead.
Yeah, I personally think the 4 hour candle, if it had to go up, it needed to break this high and then retrace, and the next one can continue going up. But since it rejected that level, it also respected the previous candle's high. It came down. It broke the low over here. The 1 hour candle broke this area. It kind of like spiked below this area over here. 30-minute candle also broke below this zone. So based on the 4 hour and then based on the daily candle coming up to this area with the kind of like rejecting. So I'm looking for sells at this point. So if I see a minor resistance formed, if I see candles making like another lower and lower high, then I'm gonna start looking for sells. But Kervin, you're right. If candles start closing above 137,800, then obviously we
Yeah.
would need a break below for sells, right? Then it wouldn't be no sells.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Probably, we're expecting this move to happen in the next 30 minutes. I mean, before 8 a.m. So the New York volume break that support. But if that doesn't happen, you may have the move that you're looking for, maybe London close. Who knows? But like I said, my bias today is it's bias. The way the candles are forming, it's I mean, as long as respecting support 137,800, it's gonna be really tough to break that support.
All right, but let's say that your 15-minute candle closes bullish, right? Like you said.
Yeah, because then the 30-minute
When
candle will
30
be
minutes,
closing above support.
but wouldn't you think about having that one 30-minute candle? It's strong sales from the 30-minute candle, right? Making the 30-minute candle pull up, making it's a wick to get filled
Hmm.
with the
Well,
volume open.
well, at this point, it's more rejection than wick fills because you don't have enough momentum at this point. I don't see momentum to break that support.
But like you also gotta take in mind about the 4-hour resistance, right? I don't know if you look at
Yeah,
the higher.
yeah, I agree. But it's plain and simple. It's range. It's plain and
Yeah,
simple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about that 4-hour resistance, if price starts forming a support, then you're expecting the volume in the session to break through that area. Of course, there's resistance, but you have to look at when are resistances broken. Resistances are broken when there's news, when there's volume, and then you start to ask yourself that, okay, when is there volume? There's volume, obviously, like, when there's news outcomes, obviously, we already talked about that. And then with pre-New York, there's volume at that time. New York Open, there's volume at that time. And NYC Open, there's volume at that time. So even if you get confirmations of supports forming on, let's say, the 30-minute, and if you execute a buy position, you're expecting those times to break through these zones, right? Then you're no longer saying that, okay, I'm in a buy, but there's resistance there. No, if you're in a buy and there's resistance there and you see prices approaching that area, you're expecting the volume in that session to break through that zone. At the same time, like if we do close below 137,800, then you're expecting the volume in the session to, continue to push price down towards 137,400. So there are like two things happening right now, which we don't know which is going to happen. Any idea if Euro news is expected to be good or bad? Yeah, it's expected to be good or bad, basically. I mean, they'll keep the rates the same. Let's put it that way. It's going to be as it is, But what really matters is the press conference, what they say after the news comes out. So 8:30, there's going to be a press conference, and then you'll see that Euro is going to start moving at that time. I mean, yesterday what they talked about was how the how things are looking good, which is why the pound moved up, euro moved up. So we're not sure if, yeah, see right over here. ECB forecasts show more confidence in economic outlook according to sources. So this is what was said yesterday, which pushed the euro bullish. Now, if they're coming up with the interest rates and then we have the press conference later on, what I'm assuming is that they might continue their talks from yesterday during the press conference, and that might push euro bullish, further bullish. Oh, it's pushing bullish right now as well. So I think if it does go bullish based on the news and fundamentally what they're talking about, I think we can get to 125,900, 125,930. Yeah, that could happen. Looks like Kervin's drawings are coming true over here, man. This is scary.
Yeah, I got I got sell stops at the bottom of that wick, man.
Yeah.
Because on the 15 minutes we closed below it, so hopefully this volatility that comes in,
Yeah.
You know,
See,
but either way,
see, this is good. Now, in the smaller time frame, price is reversing. So now I know for a fact if price comes and breaks the slow, we're heading straight down.
correct.
Yeah. So looks like Kervin's got his crystal ball over there, looking in the future.
No,
Kervin's probably
it's
like,
just
let Gulag talk
no,
what they want to talk. I'm just gonna do
nah,
my thing.
nah. I mean, if the setups are good, you know what to do.
Yeah. What's
But
this?
so far, yeah.
My onion was that GJ was at a strong resistance. Your onion was at the GJ strong resistance. Possibly turning 4-hour bullish to bearish. Waited for the 1 hour to close bearish. Oh, nice, man. You got a pretty nice move over here. Looks like you got to hand over that onion now. Kervin should just change his name to Uncle Kervin.
Oh, no, I'd be in trouble.
What's uncle in Spanish? That'll be nicer.
Tío.
Oh, there you go.
Tío, yeah.
Tío Kerwin.
Sign in Portuguese.
30-minute candle is about to close in 6 minutes. This will be interesting.
So these sells are going to be valid from the volatility. We want to see this 15-minute close below Roger line.
All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is Euro JPY. What do you think about a trade between 125 and 960? Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you're expecting the news and you're expecting the fundamentally what they're talking about Euro of doing well to continue price up towards 125 900, which is much more clear on the 4-hour because we're approaching this area now. Once price approaches a consolidation area to the left, the only reason price will continue moving through that area like hot knife through butter is going to be some sort of volume push, right? And volume push is going to come with your interest rates. It's going to come with the press conference later on at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's what's going to make price push through this consolidation area. And I think it rightfully should continue moving bullish, the euro. Gold just rejected that level, man. Damn. Look at that move. It rejected all the way to 34, 35, 36 pips. Yes, sir. I went through similar feelings. I was using 3% per trade. Oh, wow, man. That's pretty high. 3% per trade. And my account was not that big. So I found that reducing my risk to 1.5% made me feel way better accepting drawdown. That is actually very true. Whenever you reduce risk, whenever you're in a trade and then what you do is you reduce the risk on that trade, man, your whole stress goes out the window. You're reducing stress. How much time we got? We got 4 minutes left over here. Okay, I'm gonna be right back in 4 minutes.
Kerwin, what are you grilling this weekend?
I have more tomahawks. I still have some tomahawks,
Dude, you
You
gotta
already have them
share.
marinated?
I when I bought tomahawks, I bought the entire rack, which is like 30 pounds. So for us, it's basically like 2 or 3 of the ribs. It's enough for 5. for 5 persons. So I still have some like I think I have four of them. So I still have tomahawks for this weekend, maybe. And I had this tomahawk vacuum seal, so just to make sure it's gonna preserve the flavor and the juices are inside. So yeah.
And next time I'm going on a cruise, I'll stop by for tomahawk.
Yeah.
If we create support at the bottom of that range, will you look for an entry?
4 buys? No.
Yeah. No.
No. I mean, I can play the range, but I'll be looking more for the bias next probably 8.15. That's gonna be the play if we start creating another push toward resistance. So I'll be looking for buys. Maybe, yeah, if not around 8:15, then 9 a.m. But you still have time, to be honest,
Yeah.
for this support to be broken. You still have time. It's just the setup that is right now is not looking good for me yet.
Yeah.
I'd rather wait for if we break this support, it's gonna be around 8 a.m. If not, then it's not gonna happen until London. You may have a breakout from this support, but the way the candles are forming, I don't like it yet.
Yeah. My original plan was to buy above 138, 360
Mhm.
and to sell under 137, 750.
137, 750. Yeah. I think Ivan has a sell stop somewhere there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
130.
I got a sell stop at 137, 700, and I'm gonna take probably a impulse entry if you break the bottom of this 15-minute wick. Not the wick, but the previous bearish candle. So I'll take the next entry because it's closing below that range, like a little bit below Roger range. It looks like it's gonna close.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this EU volatility supposed to come out at 8:30. I mean 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Is gonna give us some kind of push.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see.
Nothing happens.
Yeah. $15-minute close bullish, and
Yep.
it's
Damasceno Coffee House.
Hmm?
They do Garak milky tea.
George,
Oh, 7:45. Sorry.
See what's they got, a little things you can buy.
Someone is unmuted.
Like what? What is it?
You forget that.
Yeah, that's 15-minute at no bottom wick also.
All right. We have candle closing back in the zone. 30-minute candle closed back in the zone. Looking at gold. Gold is rejecting. Looking at Euro JPY. We have news coming in 15 minutes. We are creating that bullish structure to continue on towards 125,900. This will be interesting to see what happens. On GBJPY, what I'm going to be looking for is that if we break below the low on the 15 minute, I'm going to be looking to take an impulse entry for price to continue down towards 137,400. That's what I'm going to be looking for, right? Because this 15-minute candle had no wick at the bottom, which means that the bearish momentum wasn't even there for price to continue down to make a lower wick. You know, so if this candle breaks the low, then that's going to be a pretty good opportunity for price to continue moving down. And then you can look at the 30-minute and say, okay, you know what, 30-minute candle is filling the wick over here, and I think that could be a pretty good idea for price to drop. Do you think it's a good idea for beginners to ignore 15-minute time frame and focus on the 30-minute and 1 hour? Yes. I think it's good to keep 15-minute in the back of your mind as well, you know, as you're trading. But it's a good idea to basically wait for the 30-minute or the 1 hour to show you confirmations. But keeping the 15-minute in the back of your mind is also pretty important. When I take a loss, I scalp it back. Is this a bad habit? Risk management is on point. I think that's a bad habit, because once your account grows, then it might make you go in a little bit of issues. So yeah, I'm looking to enter at around 137, 735, 730 for sells. And if the 30-minute candle closes bullish back in this range, then I'm looking for buys for price to continue going up. So these are two things I have in my mind right now. What do you think about VFX Alert Pro? I don't know, man. They could be pros. Who knows? So, you know, it's really important to focus on just one pair. If you're focused on one pair, you're watching it like a hawk. You're watching it, you're stalking it, you're trying to see where it's gonna move, how you're gonna pounce on it. Because trading is all about pouncing on the target, right? All right, let's take a look at this chart over here for a little bit. This chart is GJ. You're looking for sells below this area, looking for buys above that area there. So you got the 4 hour there too. Oh, this is not the 4 hour. This is something else. This is 480 hours. Not good at math, but yeah, this idea looks good over here. Buys above here, sells below here. If I see, okay, perfect. We're coming down over here now. Oh, that's the 8 hour chart. Okay. Right. How legit is Forex Tips 101? It's tempting to try. Yeah, try it out, man. You'll see how it works. Try it out and you shall see. All right, 15 minutes.
Hey, Roger, I got some buy stops in place right now. Before the news, I'll just adjust it. I got it right. Yeah. So I got it right above the 15-minute bullish wick. So depends on how this candle closed, then I'll adjust it. So depends on how it's closing, and I'll move it a little bit down.
All right.
For Kerwin predictions.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Looks like this zone is invalid. Looks like I was wrong over there. So maybe remove that zone. Because this 30-minute candle closed above this area. If this 30-minute candle closes above this area as well, then it's going to be a pretty good idea to take buys for price to continue moving bullish. But if the 15-minute starts breaking the low over here, then it's going to be a pretty good idea to take sells for price to continue moving bearish. either way, this is a very, very difficult situation right now. This is extremely difficult.
Tight spot.
Are you not worried about the news in 10 minutes? Yeah, that's the Euro news. So the most that could happen for GJ is that the spread may go up a little bit, and that's about it. But we're looking at price action over here. So if it comes to 137, 730, I'm going to be executing a sell. My stop is going to be above the 15-minute candle. Okay, there we go. Got in a sell over here. Stop is above the 30-minute candle, and expecting price to continue down towards 130. Okay, perfect. Coming downtown. We're up about 10 pips right now, securing 10 pips at this moment, and leaving stops at break even. Beautiful.
All right.
All right.
Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade.
Awesome, man.
Stress-free trading.
Yeah, this was a stress-free trade right over here. This was actually a very, very stress-free trade.
Very stress-free.
So, hey, listen, whoever got this trade in the Gulag and YouTube, give a like on the stream because, man, the idea was given here. The idea was there, man. You just had to execute on it. Look at that.
We had two ideas in place.
Yes.
Either way.
Either way.
All right. Closing out.
Oh, push the horns.
All right. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. We have hit.
Play that
Take
horn,
profit
bro.
right
Play
over
that
here.
horn.
Take profit has been hit for 30 pips, and whoever took this trade, I mean, you had a very, very good day here today. Very good day here today. So, congratulations.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Before the news, we're done. Come on. I took a loss, and then I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna chill. We're gonna relax, and then we're gonna take a trade again. So, thank you for everyone who showed up. You all got scammed again today. Scammed into having a profitable trade.
Hey, Raja.
Hey.
Quick question. So, you know how you trade the make a low and then pull back and then test the low again? Does that work on the 4-hour also?
Yep.
So would you say that it'll come back down and hit the lows?
Yes. So all candle structure, the candles follow the same structure on all time frames.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking at the 4-hour, the 1-hour, the 30-minute. Now when we look on the 30-minute here, the 30-minute didn't give us those confirmations for sells. The candle closed above support here, and there was just basically no confirmations. But on the 15-minute, we saw that confirmation earlier on. So that made perfect sense for price to continue moving bearish. So we have around 3,400 people who got scammed today. $3,400 people got scammed again here today with taking a profitable trade with the team. Oh, someone's making.
Hey, Raja.
Hey.
I have a quick question. So we rejected the previous daily high, and we rejected this zone 138, 200, 300 as well. So would you say this candle or the next one will lead us to the daily low from yesterday?
Let's take a look over here. So the daily low is all the way down 136,733, right? Do you agree with me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So now we're approaching a support. Now we're approaching the same area where price broke yesterday. If you remember yesterday, price broke about 137,400, and here it was consolidating for a very long time. and that's where price is reaching now. So we don't know whether price is going to continue breaking this area to continue down, or it will kind of like reject it to create like a minor resistance to continue down.
All right, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. When you secure 10 pips and move stops to break even, what percentage of your trade are you normally closing? 80%, 80%, 70%. That's all up to you. It's all up to you how much percentage you want to secure, you know. I'd say 80%, because most of the times my runners get stopped out. Most of the times. Only like, you know, maybe 10% of the time or maybe 4% of the time my runners are going to continue moving, but most times they get stopped out. Would this setup be a good pullback opportunity to take a buy? I think GM Luciani, I think you should take a buy and a sell, and then let's see whichever works. I mean, why the hell do you want to take a buy when price is just coming down? This is unreal, man, when people come up with these mindsets that, oh, price is coming down, rejecting support, let's take a buy over here with no confirmations. Too bad, so sad, man. Can't help everyone. Like, we try to help a lot of people, but we just sometimes can't help everybody.
Yo, Roger, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Harris?
Yeah, good, bro. You?
Good.
Yeah, man. All good. You just catch some sells.
Yeah, we caught some sells. Man, when I'm talking to you, I see your face in front of me, you know, because I know who you are, we met. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I just got them sells on the 30-minute once it broke the 30-minute low.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I took an impulse. Yeah.
Yeah, I took it when the 15-minute broke the low right over here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
With that 15-minute and no bottom wick.
Yeah, exactly. We have Euro news coming in right now. We have Euro news coming in right now.
Well, he did 1 hour and 7 minutes today.
What? No, right now.
You waited.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about the low sells.
Oh, yes. Yes. Got 8 seconds left. Are we gonna pull up or pull down? Ooh, push down to a support area. If we reject it, we're gonna continue moving bullish. I think based on yesterday's fundamental news and based on them keeping the rates the same, this should continue moving bullish, especially after the press conference. Yeah, this should continue moving bullish. Hey, is it a good idea to have a buy and sell stop on EJ? No, because EJ news is pretty volatile. Ooh, look at that thing go, man.
Raja, I have a suggestion for Magic Key. The open trade button should be twice the size. Because I was ready to press and I press open calc, so I basically close my calc.
Oh.
Instead of getting in the cell.
So you pressed it twice.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, that trade was also brought by Mango Power here. Got the mango juice running too. Yeah, your JPY should continue moving up to 125,900. It's good to close all position at 10 pips profit anyway, question mark. Yes. It's always good to secure profits. It's always a good idea to secure profits. Is it legal to make money this quick? You know what? That's something we should be looking forward to. So if you look at this trade on GBJPY, this trade lasted for maybe 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes, 30 pip move. This is what we should be looking forward to every day. Every day, that's my goal, to make as much as I can in the smallest amount of time possible. Like when I came through the charts, I had a buying bias. I took a buy, buys didn't play out, and then I was waiting for price to create a support over here to take a buy. It didn't really happen, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? Buying is not the right idea. So I had to change my bias at that point. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start looking for sells because, and then I started looking for sells. And when price broke below, I took a sell. Price came down, took profits, put stops at break even, and that was about it. And whatever happens after that, it happens after that. But the main thing is, whenever you're trying to trade, you're making sure that you're not over trading. You're not staying in the market longer than you have to. Like a lot of people, they will make profits in the morning with us, and then they will lose those profits later on. And I'm like, why? Why, man? It makes no sense at all. Like if you had a winning trade in 5 minutes, why would you want to take another trade and risk those profits? It just makes, back in the day, when I started back in the day, like, 4 years ago, that made sense to me. If I had a winning trade, I wanted to have another winning trade, and I would take another trade and lose those profits. That made sense to me. But now, since I'm profitable, since I'm withdrawing money, I'm getting winning trades, now it makes no sense to me to do that. Now it just makes sense to me. If I'm taking a winning trade, taking profits, just call it a day. If I'm taking a loss, then I'm going to give my trade a second chance, and then I'm going to call it a day. So, first trade was a loss, second trade was a win. Have a partial stop loss button which will close custom percentage at a level just like partial TP, please. Yes, so on Magic Keys you can do that yourself. You can do that yourself. You can close custom, and then you can have so basically you just close custom and then you put stops at break even.
Roger, quick question. For Magic Key, do they have a video to show you how to set it up, like to input the risks and all that stuff?
Yes, it's on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the website. Let's look at gold. Wow. Gold came back in the range over here. We got unemployment news coming up for gold, so we're going to see what happens. Do we order Magic Keys through you, or we can just place an order from the website? I don't know what that means, but you can basically place an order from the website. Through me, like what? I mean, send me a letter, or like ask for a special permission. Ever since I switched brokers, my open wait for support to form and then re-enter after break. Oh, okay. My open trade hasn't worked and I just missed like 6 pips. Oh. Yeah, I think this thing is still continuing moving down over here. Euro News is just doing this. So now when you see this candle on the 30-minute, this is the worst time to take a trade. This candle right here is the worst time to take a trade, because if you look at this candle not only broke the high, but it also broke the low, right? So when a candle is breaking the low and the high, this means that there's a lot of volatility in this candle. This candle is very, very volatile, because volatility means when we don't know what price is going to do or where it's going to move, right? So when we look at this candle, it broke the low, broke the high, we're not sure what it's going to do, but the bias is bullish. So the best way to do is to just wait for this candle to close and then see what's going to happen here. Oh, looks like we have a Magic Keys tutorial here. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, so I got my Magic Keys about a week ago, so I've been...
By Eleanor. So I'm going to paste this link. I'm actually going to paste this link in my description of YouTube so that everyone can watch it. Also, I'm going to paste this in the YouTube gulag here for people to look at it as well. Hey, did I hear HFX on the stream? Yes, he's a good friend, and we actually met on my last day while I was in London. We had some shisha and some, yeah, I think we had drinks later on. How long you were in Birmingham for? Maybe 5 minutes. We were driving by. Yeah, your JPY is rejecting it. Your JPY should continue moving bullish. 1 hour candle is about to close in 7 minutes. We have press conference coming up in like 38 minutes. So I think that should continue pushing price to 125,900. So you're looking for basically for price to respect this level down over here. Basically for the 1 hour candle to respect the previous 1 hour candle low and continue. Bless you.
Thank you.
I think you just have to understand major institutions are still selling off sterling from every way possible, even if you say it's just speculation. Yeah, that's if that's the case, that's the case. You know, if major institutions are selling off the pound, that's perfect. You know, the way how I trade is just taking small moves every day and then just come back the next day. But if we do see a continuation, if technically speaking, if we do see price closing below 137,800, then there's a very, very high chance we will break below 137,400, which was a very strong resistance yesterday, which we broke. And then price can continue down towards 136,800. When do you take profit on runners? I just closed my runners at this point. There we go. I have one question about magic keys. Double trade button, how does that work? Does it double pre-entry where you can see? No, double trade just adds the same volume of trade wherever price is. So if you're in a one lot sell and you're in 12 pip profits, and if you hit double trade, it's going to open the same one lot sell. Are you in buys? Question mark. No, I was in sells. Where do these people come from, man? I mean, how does that even happen? Can you explain quickly the confirmation of this trade? Thank you very much. So the confirmation was that this 30-minute candle was closing above support, right? When this 30-minute candle closed above support, we had the 15-minute candle closing bullish like this with having no lower wick. So the idea was if this 15-minute candle breaks the low of the previous candle, then that's going to be a pretty good impulse entry for price to continue moving bearish. And once it broke the low, the sell was executed and price came right down to this area here and we took profits. But if the 30-minute candle would have closed above this support, then obviously the sells wouldn't have been there and we would have taken a buy at that point. Hey Raja, are you in a trade? No. I mean, no trades right now. It took 2 trades. One was a loss, one was a win. Overall, I'm in profits for the day. So yeah, basically my trading day is over. And now I'm just anticipating your JPY to continue on towards 125,900. Do you trade all pairs or just a select few? I trade one pair, GPJPY. That's it. If I have to wait 2 hours for a trade, if I have to wait 3 hours for a trade, I'm going to wait. When I came through the charts, I took a trade, I took a loss, and then I waited an hour. I waited an hour and a half to take a second trade. You know, I didn't jump into trade right after that. I waited an hour and a half to take a second trade because I knew that if I wait long enough, I'm going to see another good trade. What most people do is if they take a loss, they wanna just jump back right into the trade, and that makes no sense at all. You know, that's why you guys lose all the time, because you jump back into trading it.
Raja, you're right. Actually, focusing on one pair, believe me, this is enough for you. and I lost in past year. Actually, I started Forex in 1 year, and this is my first 2 months that I am constant in profit, and it's only because of focusing on one pair, and this is pound yen. When you see the pair every day for 2 or 3 hours, you will save the moves in your mind. So then when you see the move happen, you know that the probability will go up, and then you will have constant profit in a month, in the long term. And just leave changing the pairs, going to oil or gold, or just changing the pairs. This is wrong, man. This is wrong. You will not reach in profits.
Yeah, I know that's right. Like what you said about being in profits all the time, that's just because of focusing on one pair. That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, now we are in September, and we are on 10th of September, and I am 7% up for this month. 7%. This is amazing, man. With risk management and no over trading. These two rules is very important for each trader. You have no over trading, no over risking, and will be enough for you, man. 7%. This is amazing. 7% in a month or 10% in a month. This is amazing. Don't chase 100%, man. Don't chase 80% or 50% or 70%. 10% is amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. When did you join? When did you join? Like, I just want to.
Actually, it was in July, in 15th or 16th of July, and I started the relearn and unlearn. Then in August, I was in break even. It was actually zero. Then in September, it was amazing. And from the 1st of September till now, it is amazing. And I'm starting to see pound yen like it's my baby. I can know what it's doing, man. I can do, it is amazing. This is the first time when I learned, and when I joined in Forex, this is the first time that I'm really happy of what I'm got. And I studied in Kuwait. I'm from Bahrain. I studied in Kuwait for 2 months. Then I studied from many mentors, man, and I paid so much money, and I invested in an account I have lowered because of over risking and over trading, man. This is I found that this is the only way that you can be constant in profit, is to not over trading and not over risking, and just choose one session. Just choose one session and focus on it. You have all the time. I'm a music producer. There's not logic for me just put my time 12 hours on seeing the charts. I'm just sitting 2 to 3 hours in a day, and I'm doing the 1% or 2% every day, and this is more than enough for me. In a month, 10% you have in a month, man. The real estate in a year, it will give you 7%.
Yeah.
In a year, 7%. Then this is the best, and the best situation it will give you 7%. But in Forex, if you don't have over trading, and if you're not over trading, if you're not over risking, you will reach, man. You will reach. And I don't want to promote. Actually, I don't want to promote your course. I don't want to promote you. But the thing that, man, the guys that and the YouTube, don't waste your time. Really, don't waste your time here and there. Don't waste your time on signals, man. Don't waste your time on signals. Maybe I paid $2,000 or $3,000 for signals, man. All bullshit. All waste, man. All waste of time, waste of money, and waste of, man. Mentally, I was broke. But after I joined the family, man, it was amazing. Like you wash my my mind in Forex.
Bro,
Really, you wash my mind.
yeah, we can feel the happiness in your voice there, you know, when you're like, hey, I can just really watch GJ. That's absolutely true. And I think that's the level where you want to get to, too.
Yeah, yeah, and this is the beginning actually. Let's see. After 8 or 10 months, I heard from you that you need 8 months to be like, professional in this
Yeah.
pair. Eight to 1 year. But I'm feeling the difference, man. I'm feeling the change. I'm feeling the change, man. I'm feeling the change. And really, 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 thank you very much that you came in my life. I don't know how you came. Actually, I think
Bro.
randomly I saw your live on YouTube, but I really, really want to thank you, Raja. Really, really
Man,
want
now
to
you're
thank you.
embarrassing me. Now you're embarrassing me.
Yeah, and go ahead and don't listen, man. Don't listen to anybody. Don't listen. Don't. Yeah, really, really, from Gulag, from anywhere. You don't listen to anybody. And if you are successful, then you will face like attacks and this. If you are not successful, nobody will see you. Nobody will talk about you. And this is the signs of success. Really, this is the signs of success. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Raja.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Raja, how much money you give this guy to talk like that?
Seriously, that's
You pay this guy, seriously, man.
I don't know.
Yeah. Low key, you gave him like $100.
That promo
You
was
get
a
a free course.
$20,000 promo, man.
Damn.
Spot market fluid.
Yeah.
like I was watching the advertisements on YouTube before the stream starts.
Wow.
Did you know that if you just do this one time a day,
just once a day.
And thanks also for Uncle Ted. Yeah, he's.
No, it's
he's-
okay.
you
don't have to bring me
Uncle Ted
in.
gave you
There comes Uncle Ted's
Yeah.
check. Ted's check just
yeah.
came through.
Yeah, you know, I didn't DM you. Don't worry.
No, but everything he said, man, is completely true, man. Just
Yeah.
focus on one pair. We're not even talking about Roger. We're just talking about the simple fact what he said. Focus on one pair, and that's all it takes, man. And just follow the basics. It's right here on this stream for the people in the gulag. If you're disciplined, if you need a little bit more help, then you go to the man in the camera. But you can get it all right here, man, for free.
Yeah, I think truthfully, as more and more people actually understand the process behind trading, that's where you'll see more and more people becoming profitable in the long term. There's so much misinformation on the internet about how to trade, and a lot of things don't make sense anymore that maybe made sense years ago. And I think as evolution continues on the internet, you'll find that more and more people are unlocking things that work for them in their
Best part about
circle. That it's not a one size fits all, and there's many multiple ways to be profitable. And I think once people figure that out, that really opens doors for many. Instead of saying that, hey, you have to do this certain style of trading or this certain thing, it's figuring out what makes sense for you. And once you're able to do that, you really see the results at that point.
Oh, sure.
So basically, GJ came down to the support. Can't take a sell because it's already coming down to a support which was strong yesterday. Can't take a buy because, the candles are bearish. A good idea would be to wait for like a minor resistance to be formed for price to maybe continue down, and then you can have the higher time frame going bearish on the daily after rejecting that area there. But man, if it continues breaking down, then hallelujah, GJ. I thought you said GJ doesn't do retests. Well, I lied. Now what? What's gonna happen now? I lied about that. GJ does do retests. Man, come on. Like, let's just use our brains. You know, there's a probability. There's a probability GJ is gonna do a retest. There's a probability GJ is not gonna do a retest. So what do you want me to say? You want me to say that GJ will not do a retest, and then you're gonna stick to that bias, and then you're gonna lose, and then you're gonna say, oh, but this guy said doesn't do retests. Now it's doing retests. There's always the probability, you know. And we're looking at your JPY.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, with GJ, if you wanted to take sells with GJ, this is something that we've done before. We knew that this 30-minute candle would pull back, but since this 15-minute candle finished bullish, this next one would fill the wick. So you see that we've done that. So if you were looking at 8 a.m. to take sells, you would have been successful as well. Just in case you were looking for something right at 8 a.m. That's what I just did right now. I got in at 137.556, and I just closed at 136.865.
Nice. So 865.
Sorry, 473. That's my take. I had to take profit. I was trying to go to 136.800, but you just told me that there was a support there, so I just closed. Sorry, I was at 137.556 and I closed at 137.473. Sorry about that. Yeah. I was looking at my take profit point that I marked in, which was 136.865.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to continue dropping over here.
Well, why'd you tell me that there was support and wait for a resistance? No, I just wanted the first 15-minute move, anyways, for 8 a.m. That's all I was looking for, to fill that wick, and we did.
Ooh.
Holy moly.
We just talked about
I took Kervin's crystal ball.
Oh, man.
I'm like, hey, come on.
Yeah, it's tough because I do want to believe that we're going to continue down to like 137.250 and then eventually 136.900. But I don't know how this hour candle is going to move. It didn't really form very strong, to be honest. The way that the upper wick is, but you never know with GJ. I just don't like this whole area right here. So if you're marking out a zone, you have that whole area on the hourly that it can reject at any point out of. So that's really why also too I like this area to close. Just take this part of the move. It's very, very, very simple. And then to the gentleman's point before, I mean, once you understand GJ and you understand sort of the timing of the market, those kind of moves are very simple because you knew that this momentum was going to continue in the next hour. This momentum here was going to continue, right? Because this was your pullback. So this is where a lot of times if you're trading and you started on this, say you started over here and you were taking a trade, and then it starts to pull back here and it stops, say over here, you know that once a wick's formed here, that chances are we're going to fill this again. So if you wanted to get out, you had a second chance. But now we're coming back, we're coming into this area here. So 258 is a pretty easy target at this point. That was my support, and it's just been smashed through.
Yeah, it's just been demolished now.
Yeah.
Now we're going to continue dropping.
Yeah, the other thing is too on the daily. Yesterday's daily was bullish, but the previous daily candle was very bearish. It was a very strong bearish candle. So what you may have found yesterday was that we just took a breather, and that today was going to continue. And the sign for that, if you look, was the rejection from the top part of 138. When we rejected 138 again, you knew that we were going to probably go down at that point. Confirmations, well, the confirmations for the sell were pretty straightforward on the 15 and 5 minute for GJ at 8 a.m. Once again, Raja sort of called it, this area here is your 5 minute section consolidating. We obviously failed to break this level, so then we're going down. These candles now start the 8 a.m. push, and that's where you have that drive, and that's your first 15-minute candle. So if you were looking at taking a trade, usually the first 15-minute candle could potentially have a carryover from the last hour. So let me formulate the thought. You have your 15-minute candles, and then if you get a pullback on the last 15-minute candle of GJ, which usually happens, chances are with momentum it will fill again with the new hour forming, and all you had to do is wait for a top wick to form on the hourly candle and then drive it through, and your target would be the previous wick of that last hour candle, and you can see that it was filled at that point. And that would be the idea that you'd want to work through. So now when you see we've hit 137, 258, that's a major support on the daily. So for us to drive through that, we're going to need a little bit more volume into the market. If we do, then you can fill potentially to 130 into 136 900, 136 800 at that point.
Yeah, that's my issue with the 1 hour too, because this was a very strong area yesterday, and since it spiked in it in the first 10 minutes of the candle starting, so I'm not sure if it's gonna continue driving through it, or it may kind of like consolidate here before driving further down. Looks like your JPY is also here is making structure to continue up towards 125 900. I missed around 10 pips due to delay from Zoom to Gulag. Seems like I should join Zoom team very soon. Well, the idea was given way before the delay as well. All right, let's take a look here. The knowledge Ted gave you in 5 minutes, your daddy can't give you in this whole life. Jackie boy, what the fuck? Man, the people in the gulag rip into each other pretty hard.
To be honest, it's really hard to survive in the gulag.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Anybody trading gold, we're in a massive range. It's very, very difficult to trade gold right now, to be honest. I took a stab at it yesterday, just on a couple of moves up. What I've tried to do with gold, to be honest, if you are trading gold, what you may want to do is shift your timing of gold into the next 2 hours. So stop trading gold. I've stopped trading gold just for my time zone. I stopped trading gold right now, and I've moved over into, say, the 7 a.m. West Coast or 10 a.m. East Coast time to trade gold, because what's happened is you've had the North American stock market open, which has created volume in the equity market. And it also, for the last few days with gold, you've got a more pronounced direction at that time. So if you're looking to trade gold, I would probably take a look in the next 2 hours. I wouldn't be looking at it right now. For the last few weeks, it's been very difficult to get some sort of direction in gold at this time. So that's something, once again, if you're focusing on one pair, or you've studied one or two pairs, you would start to recognize those nuances, and then you would adapt to the market. That's part of how you're able to stay agile in the market and adapt. So what you'll see is you may not have the move you're looking for right now, or confidence in direction, but then what you do is you shift over to where you see bigger moves that are happening. And for the most part, the bigger moves have been happening in the later half of the morning in the North American time zone. So just really be cautious with gold at that point, and then also secure your stop losses right away, because gold rips up now. It seems it's ripping up $3 and $4 every 5-minute candle, then pulls all the way back again.
See, gold daily, I was looking at it yesterday. I think we can continue moving up towards 1967, 1970 back again. Because that support being respected once before, like late August, and now it's being respected again.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you look, I think it was something we talked about at the beginning of the month in September, and we said that we would have that dip down in the monthly candle. It would dip all the way down, and you can see that it has. So what we can determine from this, just from an initial thought process, is that this is a huge zone on the monthly. So if you were to swing trade gold, what we would need to see is we would need to see this monthly candle leave this zone. So we would need to leave here. So now break out your playbook and say to yourself, okay, this is August, this is September, October, and then elections are in November over here. So if we believe that this is a zone, the next 2 months will be pivotal to see if we break out of that zone. And similar to, if you see the smaller time frames, if we do break out of this zone here, we are filling this wick, because what have we seen when we look on our smaller time frames? We always see, when candles leave a zone, you get sort of this idea here. You get candles that are doing this, they tap into the zone, come out, and then finally you get one candle that leaves and then drives up. And if this was a wick from a previous candle, right, and this is your zone all in here, right? This is a very bad drawing, but it gets the point. Then you fill that up, right? So if you've ever looked on your smaller time frame, you fill this wick. So now if we're looking at this on a monthly time frame, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer, but if we get a candle, say next month or the month after, that leaves that zone, then that's what we'll be looking at. We should be filling that wick at that point. So this is something here that you can start now your playbook and say, okay, how are we going to, what are our potential moves? And this is what you do. So like if we look on, if you pull up like an hour chart anywhere on like just as an example. So let's see if we can find one here. Let's see if there's, okay. So as an example, let's go. Yeah, you can even say this area here, right? So we can see here, this area here was a zone, right? So we can clearly see that was a zone on the hour time frame, and you can see how many hours it took. But since we didn't break below that previous zone and we flew up, you can see that it filled. So that I mean, it's a rough example, but it's sort of a similar idea where once price has officially left this zone, this bottom zone here, once we leave, and you can see here, this candle here, once we leave, we drive right in here. But the thing is, you can see a lot of times where we come back and tap back into that zone, and we don't actually leave it. And you can see here a failed attempt where we're above that zone now, and then you come right back in it. So this is something that, if you're watching gold and you're anticipating gold moving up, you really want to make sure you have a strong push out so that, it does continue up. And what you would do is you take a buy entry over here, driving to this level. And then as it starts to drive up, then you can say, looking left, now I've got clear movement to fill this over here with this candle. So that's what you would be doing, is if you're looking to swing trade gold and you think that we're going to go back up to the 2000s, then as gold on the monthly starts to flip bearish or bullish, like as we get this candle to start to flip bullish, and you have that wick on the monthly, you can say, okay, once we get up to this point where now the wick starts to fill, then chances are we're going to fill it on the monthly. And at that point, you should have a big enough tail on your bullish monthly candle to drive all the way up and then fill that. But once again, that's a monthly time frame, so it's going to take obviously many days, and in many days you're going to get this kind of movement. So you might not have, it's not going to be a clean straight move up. It might go up $20 and then rip back down $20 like the next day.
Ooh, looks like 15-minute candles are continuing moving down over here. Wow. Whoever's holding sells right now, man, you're doing really well at this point. Raja, you said don't change bias, but you lost a buy and take a sell after that. I think you are walking in late to this session. I took a buy and then I waited an hour and a half to take a sell. Someone donated 40 rupees from India. What is Gulag? I think you are in Gulag, so that's Gulag right there. People always get trapped in a singular bias. This is fundamentally flawed in every way possible, especially if you're looking for a short-term profit. Yes. Thank you, Ted, for free knowledge. I will buy you guys a drink one day.
Perfect. We drink a lot. It'll be very expensive.
Good luck, because they're not gonna let you pay. Trust.
Yeah, you either have to fight with me or fight with Ted to pay the bill.
That's right.
Well, I'd rather fight with Ted. You're too big.
People are asking how to do 5-minute entries. Your 5-minute entry is based off your higher time frame confluence. So as an example, if we're looking at this 15-minute candle, it just started, you would be looking to say to yourself, okay, if momentum is going to continue bearish, this is the first target that's going to get filled on the 15-minute candle. So you'd be looking at the 5-minute and potentially 1 minute to see how this wick forms to drive down. You bring that same knowledge up into the hour candle and you use your 5-minute and 15-minute for this information. So now if you're trading GJ and you started at the hour candle, which was back up over here to fill this area, what you should be doing is now your stop loss can be over here, because what's happened is this 15-minute candle, the wick now has been formed. So what that tells me is similar to what Raja was saying, is that this could potentially be a new zone. So what I can do is I can now move my stop above this wick or above this zone, even safer, and let price bounce around in here, and providing it doesn't break up, it's going to continue down. And as the wicks start to form, the upper wick, you can start moving your stop loss above that wick and then trail it as it goes down, and then figure out where you want your target to be. And as the candles form, so as this hour candle forms, now you can place your stop above that hour candle, and the next hour candle, when that forms, you can now move your stop then again. So you're going to keep dipping down, but you manage your trade. As your trade grows, you move up to the higher time frames at that point. I mean, to be honest, I think we have a nice move probably till 137 even, and then potentially all the way down to 136.906.
136, yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. Because now what's happening, if you look on the higher time frames, if you go back to, I think you were on the 4-hour, yeah. Is it the 4-hour you're looking at?
Yeah.
You can see now we're starting to come into this area over here, this zone. So you might get a reaction over here and a pull back. But if we continue with momentum, you're going to drive right into this level here. So if you're trading GJ right now and you're on the higher time frame, this is a very pivotal area right now, this area here. So make sure you secure profits as we start to dip through, because GJ could potentially do this over here. So you have already history of what can happen right in this area here. So don't get caught and say, oh, well, you know, all of a sudden GJ ripped right back up. Yeah, there's a potential, because you can see where it's ripped up previously. So as we come here, this bodies right here, these are your safe areas, because your candle right now is moving to the closest body to the left. As we start to come down into this area here, that's no longer a body. That's an area of rejection. So if you want to visualize this for yourself and make it easy, you could say that this is lava. This is like the hot water. You know, you're swimming in your pool. This is you, right? This is you in your pool. You're doing a swim. You're swimming down, and then all of a sudden now you're getting too deep, and then what happens is you jump out, and you know that's, you know, you come back up over here again somewhere. But this is the point where you see all this rejection as we come in there at any given point, and this is something you have to remember as a new trader. At any given point, price can reject. It can reject up over here. It can reject over here. It can reject down over here. At any given point, we don't know as traders where it will reject. All we know that there's a high probability that it will reject once it taps this area here. So you have to plan for that. So if you were trading GJ and you're like, hey, perfect, we got to this level here, then maybe you close out and you say, perfect, I'm done my trade because I don't want to be a part of this rejection area. You can't say afterwards, if this drives through, oh, well, I wish I would have held. You have to make that conscious decision at this pivotal point here. Am I going to close and be done for the day, or am I going to place a stop over here and then let my trade run, and whatever happens over here happens, and I think we're going to break down to here. This is part of your plan with trading. You can't say, oh, well, you know, what should I do here? You should already have a plan. Either you're exiting at the wick, or you're saying, I'm going to drive through the wick and I've moved my stop loss and profit, and I don't care if it pulls all the way back because it's going to hit my stop. I'm done for the day. You can't say, oh, I wish I would have taken the exit here. You have to choose before we get to that point. You can't make a decision now and say, well, I think I can hold it to here. If you are, then that's it. You're done. You have to just accept whatever happens in this point here. That's part of trading. You have to accept those points. Every time you come into a zone, you have to make that decision. Am I closing at the zone, or am I going to try and let it break through the zone? The higher the zone, the harder it is to break on the time frames. Okay? So you have to think about that. 15-minute zones are weak, they can break. 4-hour zones, daily zones are heavier, they may not break. But if they do break, you get more reward. It's like those machines. Have you ever seen those machines, Raja, that push out the coins? Right, you keep dumping the coins.
Yes.
And then they drop. This is like your coin machine, and it just drops, and then suddenly you hit like the 4-hour zone and it just drops, and you're like, ooh, big coins.
Yeah, it keeps sliding the coin and just keeps dropping.
That's right.
Sometimes you got to shake the machine to make it drop faster. Yeah. This one time we kept putting coins in and they weren't dropping. We're like, what the hell's going on over here? My brother came and he just went boom, 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 and the whole thing just dropped. Security came, they're like, hey, you guys can do that.
Yeah, I know, the alarm goes off on them now.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Any chances of adding positions if you're already in? No, because we're coming to a major zone. We just explained we wouldn't want to add positions at that point.
It's going to get really risky.
Yes.
How do you decide you're going to take impulse entry? Sometimes you wait for confirmations like rejection candles. Well, that's based on experience. Looks like gold is going to continue moving over here.
Yeah, gold flew up. You were right.
Should come up to, ooh, press conference coming in, news coming in. Got a lot of things coming in right now. Unemployment claims are as expected. Oh, there we go. Euro is going to continue till target. Thank you, Raja. I just came out. Oh, perfect. When is your next trade? My next trade is going to be when Pluto crosses the retrograde from Mercury, because that's going to happen tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
So, oh, we reached target on Euro. Damn. Wow, look at that go, man. We were right.
Retracement on gold. I mean,
Wow,
but it's gonna continue up.
yeah, we were right about euro. Came right up. Press conference. I think this is the continuation of what they said yesterday. If you look on the news, we go back to yesterday. Yesterday they talked about, how they have confidence in positive economic outlook. And with the conference happening today now, with the press conference after the interest rates, I think that's what they talked about here later on too, the press conference. So that's why it went bullish, as expected. How come Raja doesn't trade the Asian session anymore? Because I'm in the park with my son every evening, so I can't trade the Asian session. Also, it's better to just focus on one session, right? One session, one trade a day, 2 trades a day, and that's it. Hey, can you teach me your strategy? Yes, show up here every day and you're going to learn it. There's actually no strategy. There's absolutely no strategy. It's basically what we were talking about here earlier, that if we want price to continue on towards 125,900, volume will push price through this consolidation area. And what we see right here is the same volume pushing price up, coming up with the press conference.
Ted, I can see you took those buys on gold, right?
No, I didn't touch gold. I wanted to break out a little bit more. I was saying earlier, I wait till about 10 o'clock to start doing that, or 7 o'clock Pacific time to get in there. Yeah, it's just too finicky around these times now. But I mean, the news would have probably been a good trade as well.
Yeah, I had a good entry at 1951, and then got whipped out after, whipped out in profit luckily, but still got whipped out right after.
Man, this is so addictive. Trading? Wow, so addictive.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's just the high of being right.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the high of being right and the high of really managing risk when you go in a loss. That's what it is right now, in this stage.
Oh my God, look at gold.
Yeah, I got those buys.
Yeah,
1953.10.
This is gonna continue on.
Hopefully, we're gonna get 1960.
Yeah, if you look at the daily has a clean room going up towards 1965, 1970. We had massive supports over here too.
Okay. Oh wow, what a beautiful move, gold. Come on. I know you can do 1960. Come on.
How's the future market looking? Must be bleeding.
Futures are doing, they're okay.
Oh. Not that bad.
Wow.
Hey, I missed the move. I missed the first move on GJ, but then I got an entry, but wasn't sure about the setup, so I closed. Can you give me your thoughts? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at your thoughts.
Oh my God.
So this first move on GJ right over here. Took entry around here based on a 5-minute creating minor support. Stop loss above current 15-minute candle. Close full position. I think it was a good trade. I think whenever you're taking a trade and you're not sure about the trade, always close a certain percentage of the position and let the rest run. Because whenever you take a trade, you're kind of scared, you're not sure if it's going to go down or not, or when you start saying that, hey, this is a bad trade, close like 80%, 70%, and let the rest run. Because when you let the rest run and it continues running, what's going to happen is you're going to increase confidence, right? Your confidence in the trade is going to go up. And when that happens the next time, you're going to know exactly what to do, where to execute, and how long to hold. Oh man, the Euro JPY thing was basically this was based. Oh, this was based on watching it happen previously.
Let me close gold. I'm not gonna wait anymore. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, imagine it pumps up $10 now.
Jobless claims came in less than expected.
Yeah, came in. Unemployment claims were high. We're high at this point here. So this news should get absorbed in the market, and I think by NYC Open we should see continuation of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I closed 2 positions on gold, so I'm just running 1.
Yeah. Ted, do you think the gold and stock market are in a bubble and prices are inflated? I think so.
Of course. That's the obvious statement. But I mean, what have we learned? Don't bet against the Fed. I think at the end of the day, there's not going to be a significant adjustment to the markets until the second wave hits, which they're talking about, and then also the elections in the United States in November.
Yeah, election is gonna be madness.
Yeah, that'll set up the new direction. US 30, I mean, same thing. I think people are looking at that. We still have a lot of bullish movement, but there's not enough data right now that's going through the market to support any sort of big moves. I know that the unemployment claims came out, but that will really hit more so at around 9:30, so in another hour. So you might have a move right now with US 30 that's going to push up, but then it'll be corrected potentially, a few minutes, like about 15 or 20 minutes before the North American Open, and that's when or the North American stock market open, and that's when you'll have probably the bigger move, to be honest, at that point.
The best way to trade consistently is to take profit consciously. Yes, thank you. I said that in Science 2.0. Understand that a candle most of the time creates a liquidity grab, but what is really happening to the market when there's forming a liquidity grab? Are people taking profits or what? I think you shouldn't really focus on what's happening when a liquidity wick is forming. You should basically focus on what can you achieve with the way candles are forming. So if you're looking on a 30-minute right now, what we can see is that price is retracing. It's coming up over here. It made a low at 137, 150, so that's the low form right over here. And now all this information here, I mean, now when we look at this, makes sense because this was also a support form yesterday. So as price made a low, it's coming up. It's very possible it's going to create a minor resistance. And then for NYC Open, we can have price continue moving down. Yes, I think that can happen. That's going to be the case. The whole morning, nothing but losses, and now everything become crazy. Wow. Losses. I think the statement should be whole morning, nothing but a loss, not losses. I think the word losses is a very, very strong word. Let's take a look at this chart here, coming straight from the gulag. This is a chart. It's a wrong chart coming straight from the gulag. All right. Let's take a look at another chart here. One of my best trading days ever. Risked 2.5%, gained 6%. Beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Hey, how to control to not enter the day? Just close the charts, close the stream, and walk away. That's That's the best way to not enter a trade. What else will be a best way not to enter a trade? We had two friends and they used to trade all the time together, and what they would do is, like, after their trading session would be done, what they would do is they would change each other's passwords so that they couldn't log back in. What if GJ closes above 137,500? Can we get and buy till 137,800? I don't know, because price broke this area, came down, made a low, so I think a better opportunity would be to wait for candles to possibly create like a minor resistance for price to continue down. I think that's going to be a pretty good opportunity. All right. People are so confused. They don't. Okay. What's the best scenario to possibly enter gold? Enter gold for a buy, I assume. I think a good scenario would be to wait for this candle to close. This 4-hour candle is about to close very, very bullish. Once this candle closes bullish, we're closing above the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles, and it makes sense for price to continue moving bullish. So if we're looking at the 15-minute, I think for the next candles to continue moving bullish, they have to respect the low of the previous 15-minute candle right over here at 1950. And then you're going to have price continue moving bullish. Hey Raja, what's something weird you like on your food? For example, like ketchup on pizza. I don't think that's weird at all. That's pretty normal. Ketchup on pizza, ketchup with wings, ketchup with everything.
Yeah, but ketchup's tomato sauce.
Yeah.
So
Ketchup.
it's already on the pizza now.
Yeah, but
it's baked in.
Ketchup is different. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, ketchup.
Fair enough. We're gonna go through semantics.
Yeah, ketchup with wings, ketchup with beef, some good filet mignon and ketchup. Oh man, so good.
You know, it's awesome when we go to the steakhouse and they don't have ketchup.
I'm like, what? You don't have ketchup?
They're like, sorry, sir, this is a steakhouse. We don't have ketchup.
That's the biggest turnoff ever, man. When they say we don't have ketchup.
We're such peasants. We go into the steakhouse. Give me French fries and ketchup. The waitress looks at you. Well, you guys just ordered like a $200 steak. You want fries and ketchup.
Yeah, where I grew up, we had nothing but ketchup. You know, we didn't have like, well, mayo was expensive. You know, it was like more of a luxury. We didn't have ranch. We only had ketchup. Yeah, next time I'm gonna bring sachets with me if they say we don't have ketchup.
Yeah, I'm a ketchup guy, but mayonnaise is good.
Mayonnaise is good. Mayonnaise mixed with ketchup is good.
Oh yeah.
Y'all sound like some big kids. Ketchup on pizza and wings? Oh, hell no. Oh, it looks like that came from Miami right there, that comment. Y'all. Please, can you look at this chart? Yes, if you send it, we're going to take a look at it. Check 1 hour chart on GJ. If it closes like this, there's a change. There's a change. The wick will be filled. I think you meant chance. There's a chance the wick will be filled. This wick over here, yes, there's a very big chance because, you know, as we're starting to come up over here, as we're coming up to the support we created on a 30-minute chart, I think we would need some sort of a resistance forming and then price will continue down. I think when Eleanor hosts her Zoom streams there, she's probably going to look at it and say, oh yeah, guys, look, it's a sell. Looks like a sell over here. Can we re-enter GJ as sell? Why? Why, man? The candle is bullish. Why would you want to enter when candle is bullish?
We talked about this. If you go back to the 4-hour candle, we talked about this. Remember the reaction that we were looking for at this area? And we said, hey, you have to make a decision. Now you understand why you make decisions, because it's pulled all the way back. And chances are the next 4-hour candle will probably wick up and then drive and fill it. But we don't know how far it's going to pull back. And at this point, the hour candle has hit a support. So you can't sell until you see a bearish candle. I don't understand why, if we see bullish candles, we look to sell. Is that like, do people do that on purpose? Like, I just want to understand, what would we be selling here? Like, if the candle's going up, and if I took a sell right now, I'd be going into drawdown.
Yeah.
Like, why would I sell there? Like, if you were gonna sell, you probably have to sell below here. That's where you'd be selling. You can't sell a candle going up. Like, I don't understand. This is just, where do you place your stop loss now? Up over here? All you're doing is letting it drive to that stop loss. If you start selling with a candle that looks like this, that has a little bit more hope, because what it is, it's bearish. It's going down. You're trying to sell something that's going back up. It's just very difficult. You have to look at things holistically and say to yourself, if I want to sell, my candles need to look like this. They can't look like this. This is not a selling opportunity. Look, as we keep talking, we started over here, and now we're over here. I can keep that cursor there, and it's going to keep going. You can't do that. You need to wait for a candle to reject and start to drop. This is your bread and butter. This is the bread and butter of life. You have a wick. That means that we don't like price anymore at this level because we have momentum going down, and now we have volume to drive price. This is the bread and butter candle of life, okay? Opposite is said when we reject a major zone and we have a candle that looks like this. This is going up. This is also the bread and butter of life. These are not the bread and butter candles of life. This is the bread and butter candle of death. Because what you're doing is you're fighting against something that the market is doing. Don't put yourself in a position. Wait to see this. Ignore this. That's it. Just be like, hey, there's no trade right now because the institutions are battling. This is the best part about being a retail trader. We can sit here all day and watch institutions do stupidness like this, and we can just wait for an hour and then catch this idea here and not have to worry about being involved in this, because we can exit where institutions have to stay in and be like, oh, we have to go over here, back over here, down over here. You don't have to do that as a retail trader. So don't get into that habit of saying, oh, well, you know, like price is being driven up just to go further down. Wait for that to actually happen. Just sit back and be patient. Look, there was a huge move for the last 3 hours, and now you're trying to catch the stale part of the move. It makes no sense. Don't do that to yourself. What do you learn? Come back tomorrow 3 hours earlier so that you can see something like this. That's what you should be doing. And when you do that enough times, you will always avoid crap like that because you'll be out of the trade. Hence this, right? No worries. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. This candle, go about your day. It can go all the way back up, screw everybody else, but you've already collected your money and you're off the charts.
And with that, I bid you guys adieu. Later, guys.
Okay, take care, take care.
Thank you, bro.
If the price came back into the range of 138,800, okay, 138,800, and close above, can we take a buy or we should wait for a break up about 138,360? I think when we come up above 137,800, oh, I think you meant 137,800. You would need to see some sort of a support forming in this level to say that, okay, now price is going to go up. But as we're coming up towards, 137,800, this is where you're going to be waiting for a resistance to be formed for price to continue moving down. So now you're waiting at this point. There's a lot of waiting happening right now. Looking at your JPY is moving up as expected. Looking at gold is kind of like, waiting for probably NYC open to continue bullish here as well. Hey, would there be a way if you can use magic keys via your iPhone? No. What do you think about these new streams run by guys who trade the same as you and almost take the same exact trade at the same exact time during the streams? That's fine. Like as you get bigger and stronger and as you innovate, people will follow. It's like Eminem once said, I feels like a fucking army marching the back of me. There was yeah, let me see if I can find it over here. No, wait, YouTube's gonna probably block it. Yeah, right now there's possibly no trade, and I'm probably going to be called it a day in like 10 minutes here. I'm a price action trader, and so I find a lot of sense in markets. Glad to see that my trade ideas are almost like yours. Blessings. Oh, thank you, Juan Jose Jimenez Riega.
If anybody is asking for like, what do you think or what's your opinion, I think you have to give your opinion first, provide a chart, and then we'll evaluate the opinion. I don't like giving opinions because you've asked me to give an opinion, because that does not help you learn. What you are trying to do is you're trying to copy math homework. And when the test for the actual math test shows up and it's a different question, you're not going to be able to apply your knowledge. Trading is like understanding math. Everybody thinks math is easy when they see the answer. But then when the same style question shows up, but it's different numbers and it's written differently, then you can't figure it out. And then you make mistakes and you say that math is hard. So it's the same thing with trading. We show you what we do and how we do it based on our own interpretation of the charts. You also have to do that as a trader and provide that information so that we can work and interpret that information together, so that the more you are able to do on your own, the more confident you will be in executing your ideas and the more successful you will be, because only you understand your risk parameters, only you understand your comfort level. And that takes experience, and that's something that can't be taught. So if every time you show up to the gulag here on the stream and you say, what's your opinion on gold? What's your opinion on US 30? What's your opinion on GJ? You are not going to progress as a trader. I'm just telling you straight, flat out, you're not going to progress as a trader. You have to actively learn and actively participate. And what that means, it means marking up a chart, marking up an idea, presenting the idea like you're giving a presentation in class, and then going back and seeing if that idea was successful. If it was successful, you're on the right path to continuing your progression. If it wasn't successful, you have to go back and evaluate where are there errors in your line of thinking and keep refining those errors until they do not exist anymore. And that can take a week, a month, a year, a decade. It depends on your learning style. It depends on the effort you put in. It depends on the experience that you're giving yourself in terms of trading. It depends on the time you have available. So you, once again, sitting here and just saying what's your opinion is not going to make you a successful trader. It's actually going to hurt you in the long run. You're just going to fail miserably, because there's going to be instances where you're given an idea, you copy the idea and it works out, and then you go to try and copy it the next time and it fails, and that's when you blow your account and then you complain afterwards. The idea, once again, is to be an active learner, interpret the market, and adjust your ideas and strategies to mold into what's going on in the current market structure. If you can't find an opportunity in the market structure, there is no opportunity. You can't ask others if there's a trade if you can't see the trade. That's not how trading works. When you see the trades, that's when you have opportunities. If you don't see opportunities, then there aren't any. If other people see opportunities and you don't, there are opportunities for other people. There aren't opportunities for yourself. You have to get used to that. As you gain more experience, you will see more opportunities to take positions, to work on different time frames, to see things that are progressing before they actually happen. You can't rush that process. And when you start to understand that and you learn that simple idea of not rushing the process, you will become successful a lot faster in what you're doing.
With that, I'm going to call it a day. I think I've been in a stream for too long here, and we had some winning trades and winning calls over here. So, Gulag, have a good day. Take care. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk. Ted, you take care. Have a good day.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Sacha. Everyone, take care. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And listen, whoever took profits, whoever is in profits today, just call it a day. Just close your trade, close your charts, and just be like, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm done right now. So, because the more you look at this, man, the more you're going to be enticed to take a trade and you lose profits. So, listen, if you love yourself, if you love your family, you love your trading account, you don't want to be in the gulag, just keep your profits and call it a day. Take care, everybody. Those were my parting words for today.